Hey everyone. So the next interactive, we're going to do, am I on the right path? So what does that mean? It could mean, am I on the right spiritual path? It can mean, am I, in the right relationship? Am I on the right career path? In general, am I, we all tend to get off, let's just say you're in a fork of the road and you may pick right instead of left. Obstacles will come in our path from time to time. And some obstacles can be people that have their own personal agenda that detour us from what we're supposed to be, meant to be. But it's like one of those things, you can throw a pebble in the water, but eventually the pebble will, the current will correct itself. It's been a long day, trust me. So I'm trying to still get this interactive before I get everything done here. So you deal with sometimes situations with influences and, obstacles, which can be family, which can be relationships, following the wrong people as far as friendships are concerned. There's a lot of reasons why a person can detour from their path. So sometimes it's also because our parents have told us that we need to be raised to be something in a career, or we're told that we're more focused on the money at the time of what will make us money than versus what we're really meant to do or what to be happy. Same situation happened with me. I was more focused on sometimes of material things versus what I was really meant to do. And one way or another, as they say, of course, things get corrected. We get people, we get distracted. We end up in wrong relationships, wrong friendships, influences. It doesn't matter, or you want to say the devil goes ahead and distract us. Well, that's another way to say it. So here's an interactive to say whether we are on the correct path or not. At least it will give us some insight. So we're going to start the first one with the skull. The next one's going to be the gold spear. And the next one, the horse. Okay. So again, just remember, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video as much as you can. And I also want to say, thank you to those who have been commenting, supporting the channel so far, and giving me the feedback that it's hitting right on. It's really important that I get that. And so hopefully this will give you some insight. So these are generalized throws. So people ask me how the interactive goes. You should focus on the question, on whether or not, what calls to you first. Everybody's situation is different. Again, this could be business-wise, this can be educational-wise, this can be career-wise, this can be relationship-wise. It doesn't matter. But you have to sit there and focus on the question and kind of generalize it. So again, this is an interactive, which is going to reach a lot of people. So I try to make sure that it hits as many as it can. So you can always pause the video if you need more time to select the option, and focus on what your question is. All right. So hopefully you've had enough time. Let's go ahead and start with the first one. And we'll go with the skull. Well, in this particular case, I can definitely say that you kind of been kept up at night. You've been more worried about the financial situation and kind of taken things upside down in the dark. In this particular case, it might be more of a relationship-wise, a relationship situation, because I see two women here with a situation of love here. And what that means is it's usually what we call a party of three, okay? So it maybe you're in a situation where you're with a person who is in a relationship, where there are many situations like that where they are literally in a relationship because they have kids or because they're forced in it. It's an economical situation. whatever the case may be. Okay. Or they have a lot of family members who are involved in the situation, or they're stuck because of kids, and they've been more focused on providing financially. Okay. So sometimes we do this. We're more worried about our family situation than we are about our own happiness. So I can say that money has been the key here. Family has been a situation. In the positive, you're doing everything right for your family because your family is more important to you. In the other situation, you're giving up everything of what you really want because you're more focused on someone that you're kind of stuck in a situation, whether it be for kids, whether it be for financial reasons, whatever it is, or because you're, again, you want to help out your family. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just a situation where, you have to have a little bit of balance in life. Being comfortable living is one thing, and then wanting more is not enough. And if you're trying to satisfy too many people and making them happy, okay, versus yourself, that's not a way to live, because kids grow up and they move out on their own. They make their own families. And then you're stuck in a situation where, you're stuck with someone that you may not be in love with deep down inside, or it may be a situation that then you're wasted your years of, I didn't get to do this for myself. I didn't get to do that for myself. My favorite movie is The Bucket List, and where you see a man who provided for his kids, he provided for his family, but he never did for himself what he wanted, and he takes an advantage of, this rich man offering him to go work on their bucket list. And sometimes we need to think about that. It's good for you to be a provider. It's good for you to be all of that. But you also have to take time for yourself, okay? And because life is short. It's not promised, okay? And here's what I'm seeing is, yes, you definitely are, in the relationship, you're worried about making sure your family's happy, but you're not worried about yourself being happy. Or others are happy around you, and you're not worrying about yourself. And there is a guidance here in the sense of, yes, this is definitely a big spiritual connection, which is great when couples really do get along and they're happy with each other. But you also have to realize, and your family, and you guys have a strong bond, but you also have to worry about yourself. And deep down inside, you're ignoring your intuition of what your desires are and what you want to do. So I'll say this again. Great, you're worrying about what's most important, but you also are neglecting yourself. So remember, life is short. Take time for yourself. Do things that you want to do for yourself. There's nothing wrong for being the big, stability of your family, but you also need to do what makes you happy, okay? Don't give that up, all right? That's very important. So let's go with the second one. Well, okay. In this one, I'm going to say there's definitely a separation coming, okay? There's definitely a separation. There's a decision to let something go, to move on. You've made recently a change, okay? You are someone who's been carrying the weight for a long time, okay, of whatever the situation is. You've been carrying a heavy burden. And unfortunately, the only thing you have gotten out of it is betrayal, heartbreak, stress, all that type of situation. So you've definitely been more about pleasing other people than what's dealing for yourself. So this is time where the universe is trying to wake you up and say, hey, time to move on, time to let go. It's time to heal your heart, okay? You may have suffered for quite some time, but it's time for you to find self-balance. So it's time, the universe has put you in a situation where it's time to let go. And it's time to start realizing who really are your friends, who really are there for you. It may be involving letting go of family members. It may be letting go of an ex. I mean, this is obviously a huge separation. Letting go of friends, letting go of partnerships, letting go of a company. It may, a business, whatever the situation is may be, it's caused you more suffering and more pain than what it's worth. So in this particular case, I would say you're in a decision here where you need to let go. It's caused you more heartache, okay? Again, it's caused you more heartache than what it's worth. So this is about you rebalancing. So if you are in the process of letting go and fixing and getting what is not good for you, then you are on the right path. If you're still having issues with letting go, then definitely you need to start getting going. You are not here to carry the burden of the world or the burden of everyone. Sometimes people need to help themselves. The best thing you can do is give them the advice, but they need to do it for themselves. So you need to stop putting yourself in the situation to be hurt, to be betrayed, to be used. Some people will only learn lessons the hard way, which means you can't keep making things easy for them. It's about time they start taking care of themselves, and vice versa. You need to take care of yourself. So this is about time for you to find balance and harmony and a good, healthy balance between life, career, work, your personal life, your hobbies. You have to have some fun. Let's be realistic. You have to be able to enjoy something in your life and doing what you need to do. And it's time for your heart to heal and you start being passionate and doing things that you really like to do. So if you're doing that now, good. If you're not, then it's time for you to start doing that. Okay? Third one, the horse. And I'm sorry, my voice is starting to go. I've had a little bit of cough and congestion going on here, but we'll move on. I think a lot of people have started the new year with getting rid of stuff that's not good for them, because it's the same thing here. Another betrayal, but on the other hand, because of you letting go of that betrayal, moving forward or getting away from that betrayal, you've started to progress. You've gotten to grow spiritually. You're growing, starting to grow financially. You've actually found a way to grow as a person. As we learn, money is not everything. And by you doing this, you've got your spiritual connection back up. You've got your wall, your protection next to you, which means you're actually more connected because this is right and your spirit guides are protecting you. And justice is coming to your enemies, okay? This is where karma is going to hit a cycle, okay? And you're learning to balance things and get things done. And what did I mean by justice and karma coming? For those that did you wrong, here's what happens. And I tell a lot of my clients this, that have sometimes a hard time of letting go of an ex or of a past or the situation, that the more they try to hang on to the person, the more they suffer, the more this person progresses and you continue to lose. Because when you've been with a person for a long time, you make that connection spiritually, through energy, everything else you want to say it. So this person absorbs your energy. So they can be a very negative person, but they've taken the positive energy out of you, which balances them, which gives them the luck. So in other words, they're taking your luck and they're the ones absorbing it and you're the one who's losing it. You take their bad luck. Okay, there is energy exchanges in any type of form of relationship. And that hanging around with the negative is going to bring you down. Okay, when you go into the positive, you get away from them, your positive energy comes back. You get back into your right path. You get right to do. So this particular case, I see you moving in that right direction after some type of, negativity. And again, this is not always relationship. This is sometimes your own family. This is friendships, people that you've surrounded yourself that are really have dragged you down. People who don't have the same goals as you have. And believe me, I've had that happen where I've had to cut. Or, I appreciate and I love all my friends, but sometimes there are people, there was a situation where I had to get myself out of a situation for them hanging out with different type of people and the wrong people for me. And I just had to separate myself because their energy was dragging me down and it was costing me financial loss. It was costing me a whole bunch of drama, problems, everything else. And it wasn't about my friend. It was just who else they were hanging out with. Okay. Or friends. It was who else they were hanging out with. So sometimes that's what happens. And you can have family that's a little bit toxic because unfortunately, we have karma with these people. So sometimes it's something you need to separate yourself to work on yourself because you can't help anyone if you can't help yourself. And if you're in a bad situation, what do you think you're going to help anyone with? Okay. And this is where I see that you are breaking from this situation and you're getting there. And this is the reason why it's saying choose wisely. Choose wisely who you surround yourself with. Choose wisely who you allow into your life. Okay. Choose wisely who you allow into your house because people are jealous. You can't, there's fun to have people in, an example, I love to dance and there's friends that I have who I socialize with outside, but they're not in my house. I don't hang out with them every day. I may meet them outside, but and I love them dearly. It doesn't mean anything different. It's just people that I have my own separate professional life, and I have my own house family life, and I have a different life of hanging out. It's not that I'm a hypocrite. It's just there's limits, okay? They need something, I will be there for them, but it doesn't mean that I have to, again, there's limits. You have to choose wisely who you surround yourself with. There are people who take advantage of others. There are, like I call, the real life vampires who will come and take from you. They take your positive energy, they take your luck, they take everything you can possibly imagine, okay? And you're the one who loses, not them. They gain, you lose. So choose wisely. Spiritual strength. It's talking about you need to focus on that, okay? You need to focus and be well balanced. It's very important to have harmony and peace in all your aspects of life, whether it be work, whether it be your home life, okay? Your house should be technically your temple, okay? And let's be realistic, okay? You come home, you live there. Your house should be your temple, okay? And this is how it should be treated and respected. And it's fine to have fun, believe me. But again, know your limitations. Not everything has to come home with you, okay? And even at work, not everyone at work needs to know your personal life, okay? Work is work. Another thing is another thing. So you need to work on your focus and your spiritual balance. And hope, okay? There's nothing wrong with you wanting more. There's nothing wrong with you trying to achieve more in your life, okay? You should always have hope to do better. You should always have hope for others to do better, okay? This jealousy of because they have and I don't have, no. It should be a motivation. You know what? If they can do it, I can do it. I'm not trying to be jealous of the person, but they're the motivation for me to also achieve what I want to achieve, okay? If you're trying to achieve goals, you should be happy when others achieve goals. There's no reason to be jealous because unfortunately that's our human nature. We have the both, the yin and the yang. We have those that are very happy for others, truly happy. And then we have those that, oh, I'm so happy for you, but damn it, why can't I get that? Okay, so there's where comes in the negativity and the jealousy. So no, this is, you are able to achieve your own goals and you should support. People need to support each other. And it's not about financial support. Yay, you can do this. You got this. Come on, we're going to do this. And be happy for them that they achieve something. Not jealous because you can't get it. If you can't get it, then you need to reevaluate yourself. So I hope this will help everyone. Whatever this particular case, I would say, you're on the right path, but just limit who is around you. Okay, be very selective. Be very careful with what you do and who you think are your friends and who are not. Okay, and sometimes that's even family who might be a little bit jealous. Or even your significant other may feel less because they're not achieving what you are. Okay, and that has happened in relationships where one feels a little bit less than the other, and it shouldn't be that way. They should be supportive and no matter what. But, don't give up your dreams based on, bad friendships, bad relationships, bad whatever. We all have some family member that is always a problem. And you have to learn to distance yourself. Okay, don't let them drag you down on what your goals are. So I hope this helps. And we'll see you tomorrow for the next interactive.